Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I'm here in Buffalo, New York, and I want to tell you some historical facts that you may or may not know. The information is out here, but you got to kind of look for it. But when you come to my channel, you know I'm going to drop down some knowledge on you. A lot of people know about the buffalo wing. Now, for disclosure, I don't eat buffalo wings. I don't eat chicken, only maybe some chicken breasts. Microwave it and have it for protein, but I'm not really a meat eater. But anyway, I digress. But it is a favorite treat for people watching football games or any sporting events. The man that I'm about to tell you about, John Young, is really the person that started chicken wings. That was in 1961. Now, most people think about buffalo wings at the Anchor Bar with Frank Bellissimo and his family. But actually, they came to see John and at his restaurant and took the idea and did their own little version of it. They opened, I guess, the Anchor Bar in 1964, and we'll try to go there so you can see that as well. And those wings were made differently than what John Young did his. Now, he came originally from Alabama. He came up here and he's working in the factory, and he wanted to do a little bit more than just working in the factory. Now, he liked cooking, and his mom taught him how to cook, and he knew that with chicken, you could do so many different things with. Now, chicken wings, most people thought it was like the junk part of the chicken, and they would use it for stock. He knew better. He wound up using that as something that made him some money, but unfortunately he didn't patent the buffalo wing idea like Frank Bellissimo and his family that would come to see him, and then of course they opened their version of the Anchor Bar. But anyway, John opened Wings and Things, and that opened in 1961, and it was a hit. A friend of his had come up from DC and gave him a bottle of Mambo sauce, and he did a variation of Mambo sauce. Now, his wings were with a tomato base. They were breaded wings, and his wings were pretty good size, and they sold them for like 10 cents each. But when he opened, man, he had a line around the corner. But there's a mural behind me. It's about 6 feet by 16 feet, and it pays tribute to him, and I wanted to show you this. And it's located here on Jefferson and Carlton Street. This is where one of his locations was, and I think this may have been the first location, and I don't know if the building was right where I'm standing or if it was across the street or over there, but right now this is like a little vacant lot, and across the street is a vacant lot. But either way, I'm going to show you this nice little mural. And this is John Young. Now, unfortunately, he passed away in I think he died in about 1988. Now, he did do a story with, I think, Harper's Bazaar, talking about what I just told you, that he started, selling the buffalo wings. They were breaded wings, and how successful they were. Now, he moved out of the area, but I'm going to read to you what it says on this plaque here. This mural honors the memory of John Young, the owner of Wings and Things, Buffalo's first chicken wing restaurant, specializing in unadulterated whole wing tipped in his secret Mambo sauce. Established on this site in early 1960, his restaurant was a cornerstone in this community and a flashpoint in Buffalo food. Due to race riots and concern for his safety and his family, Young chose his more widely known restaurant, then located at Jefferson and Utica, in 1970, and moved to Decatur, Illinois. Upon returning to Buffalo and reopening several restaurants in 1980, he discovered he was largely omitted from the official city's narrative, noting, "It hurts me so bad the other day that other people are taking credit. His creative legacy remains today. So this is a picture of John Young, and I will put some information about him. I know his daughter, Linda Brown Young. She's in 2020, she started serving a variation of her dad's wings, and I think they do have a sauce that was used at the time that when her dad was making these wings. Like I said, the wings that he sold were going for 10 cents each, and I know a lot of athletes will come here after the games, and it was just a big success. But let's go to Anchor Bar, and I'll tell you the difference between what their wings were.
Eyewitness News is celebrating Black history over the next month by uncovering lesser-known stories across Western New York. Well, legend has it the Buffalo Wing was born in Buffalo, New York in the 1960s, but after that is where the original story gets a little murky for some. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Madison Carter shows us how the family of the late John Young is working to make sure his truth lives on.
You know, in hindsight, if he had patented it, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
John Young is a man many credit with being the originator of the Buffalo Wing. He opened his first business on Jefferson and Carlton in 1963, where he started selling whole chicken wings. At the time, this was a part of the chicken that was either thrown away or used for stock. Young moved business up to Jefferson and High Street, but it was only once he realized sauce was boss that business started to boom.
He was saying that the first 2 days that he opened the doors, he realized he had created a monster, and he used that phrase a lot when something was exciting to him. People came from everywhere to get the wings with the mumbo sauce.
Mumbo sauce, a tomato-based concoction, was brought to life at Young's third location at Jefferson and Utica. Many near and far remember the famous deal splashed across the side of his building, 10 whole wings for $1.
But somebody had been drafted into the service, and they said they told me while in the foxholes, they would be thinking and talking about chicken wings with mumbo sauce.
Young had many friends at the time, including Frank Bellissimo, who would go on to trademark the Buffalo Wing with his wife many years later.
I know Frank used to visit my husband in the restaurant business, and I know that was before Frank started selling chicken wings.
Racial and social instability forced him to leave his business behind and take his family to Decatur, Illinois in 1970.
We were not in Buffalo when Frank started selling chicken wings.
You know, when they came back, people were selling split wings and blue cheese and that type of thing, which my father considered as tampering with the wings because he started selling whole wings. That was the original way that wings were sold in Buffalo.
His family says Young's inability to trademark and market his mumbo sauce is partly to blame for why they feel he's been written out of the history of the wing.
People weren't necessarily trying to take sides, but in the same way they were, because right now, if you ask people, they're going to say Frank and Teresa, and that is taking a side as opposed to saying they claim.
John Young left a handwritten account to his daughter of what he calls the truth. And until his death in 1998, his family says it pained him to feel that story was being erased.
Many people who know the history of Buffalo know who was selling wings first.
Now, the Young family says John had a number of ideas he never legally put his name on, but you've definitely heard of some of them before. Head over to my social media pages on Twitter. It's Madison L. Carter. On Facebook, Madison Carter WKBW, to see more on how his family says he might be connected to Meals on Wheels. In studio, Madison Carter, 7 Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. It is 6:43, 26 degrees out there, but it's hot here in the studio because we've got some great wings with us this morning. Celebrating something Buffalo does best, chicken wings, of course, and lots of people are going to be eating wings this weekend because of the Bills game. But this weekend also Buffalo's self-proclaimed original wing sauce making a comeback.
We are joined by the daughter of the first king of wings, John Young, Lana Young, and also Mark Moscato, the from Buffalo Bike Tours. And it's an interesting story how we're talking about something that came out in 1961, but is new again, and how the two of you got together. First of all, Lana, tell me about your dad and Wings and Things, because so many people out there have got such fond memories of that original buffalo chicken wing.
Right. So my dad started his first chicken wing business down at Carlton and Jefferson Street. There he started with whole wings and mumbo sauce after getting a little suggestion from a person in Washington. It was a big creation, and it just took off from there. And so he ended up having 3 other restaurants up the Jefferson Street corridor, and they're back today.
Yeah, and the mumbo wings are still the whole wing.
The
so
whole
you don't
wing.
have to fight over the flat or the drums.
That's
because
right.
you get the whole thing with the mumbo wings. But the
Exactly.
sauce in particular is very different too.
And it's also an interesting story about how the mumbo wings became rediscovered, because they were in hiatus for many years, and that's where Mark comes into the story. Tell me about that.
Oh, geez, yeah. You know, I have a seasonal tour company called Buffalo Bike Tours. We don't do tours this time of year for natural reasons. But it kind of occurred to me not long after I started that the first thing out of people's mouths when they visit Buffalo is, Mark, where's the best place to go get chicken wings? So it occurred to me people would probably pay me to take them around to these different chicken wing locations. That led me down some different research paths, and I came across the story of John Young. And I thought that was really fascinating when I read a description by former council member James Pitts, who described it as liver quivering and lip smacking down to your toes. And I was like, that made me really intrigued. I needed to know more. I needed to try to taste it because I never had mumbo sauce. So we connected kind of by happenstance through another station, and the rest is history. But we've been collaborating for 3 years, and on these tours, a lot of people say, this is fantastic. We love to share it with our family. So that led us to the idea to try to get it in bottles. And it's been a long process over a couple of years, just getting a product like on the shelf that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Oh my God, there's so many steps.
So you're all here today because it is in a bottle now, and there's a launch party tomorrow. Real quickly, tell us about the launch party and where people can get the John Young mumbo sauce.
So the launch party will be.
And Pete's just going to eat while you talk about it.
Well, you got up early to cook, so
That's
I'm not going
right.
to be rude.
We'll be at Michigan Street corridor, at the corner of Broadway and Michigan, the African American Heritage Center there, and we'll be there from 12 to 3. Where we'll be having some just tastings. So since my dad did do also mumbo burgers, we'll have some chicken tastings, pieces, some pieces of burger. We'll have one vegetarian option also, so that they can taste the sauce, and hopefully everybody will come out and enjoy.
Never thought about putting it on a burger. Great idea.
And you know what? Jim Pitts should have said bow tie flipping as well.
All right.
Famous for the bow tie. Thank you very much, Lana Young and Mark Moscato. And we'll have all the information about where you can get the new John Young's original mumbo sauce at WGRZ.com.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right.
Tonight we are celebrating the return of what some insist were Buffalo's original chicken wings. This was marked by a gathering along the Michigan Street African American Heritage Corridor for a special unveiling of John Young's original mumbo sauce. To on your sides, Keelan Berrien has the scoop, but from what we understand, you have no mumbo sauce, my friend.
No, I didn't get any mumbo sauce. It went away so quickly. But this sauce was a huge hit in the past, and it still is today. Within an hour, they sold out of the mumbo sauce. That's why I didn't come back with some, Dave. Then went and got some more, just for that to be sold out in less than an hour also. But let me share some truths with you about this sauce. We all normally associate the first chicken wing sauce with the Anchor Bar, when really and truly, it should be a credit to John Young. Lina Brown Young's daughter spoke with me about her father's story, which she says starts in 1961. That's when his mumbo sauce was created, and the sweet and spicy sauce coated whole chicken wings, making Young the original wing sauce starter in Buffalo. The sauce blew up, and Young claimed the title the King of Wings in Buffalo. It's just unfortunate the Youngs had to leave the city because of racial issues back then. That's when we learned about Teresa Bellissimo and her wing sauce at the Anchor Bar in 1964. But here's what Young's daughter had to say.
I'm so glad. I got so many people that came to me, with these stories. I remember your dad, I remember your uncles, this is the sauce, it tastes just like it. I'm so glad, we missed it. So I'm glad that I was able to do that.
Now, this event brought out a lot of people. Again, they sold out twice in less than an hour, but they will be back next week with more sauce. You can go to our website to find out how you can get placed an order for your own bottle. And coming up at 11, I will tell you a little more about the sauce and how it brought the city out to support them. Dave?
All right.